Lewis Hamilton's shocking decision to leave Mercedes for Ferrari has sent shockwaves across the Formula One world. The seven-time world champion has been the face of the Silver Arrows for 8 years, leading them to unprecedented dominance and glory. But his departure also leaves a huge gap in the team, not only on the track, but also behind the scenes. Hamilton has forged strong bonds with many of the key personnel at Mercedes, including his race engineer Peter Bonnington, affectionately known as Bono. The team is well aware of the risk of losing some of their best staff to Ferrari, who are eager to lure them away with Hamilton. With one more season to go before the big switch, how will the relationship between Hamilton and Mercedes unfold? And will the staff trust the driver more than the team? Hamilton's move to Ferrari was not a spur-of-the-moment choice. It was driven by a sense of frustration and dissatisfaction with the direction of the team. Hamilton felt that his feedback on the car's development was ignored or delayed for too long, resulting in a loss of performance and competitiveness. He publicly criticised the engineers for their mistakes with the W13 and the W14, which failed to match the expectations of the reigning champion. But many of those engineers, led by Bono, could follow Hamilton to Ferrari, where they hoped to revive the fortunes of the Scuderia. The transfer of a superstar from one team to another often has a domino effect, as seen when Sebastian Vettel left Red Bull for Ferrari in 2014. Mercedes could face a similar scenario, as Hamilton has already signed a contract with the Italian team for 2025 and beyond. Hamilton has always dreamed of driving for Ferrari, the most iconic and successful team in F1 history. He said, "I feel incredibly fortunate to have achieved things with Mercedes that I could only have dreamed of as a kid. But now I have the chance to fulfill another childhood dream, driving in Ferrari red." He added that everyone is a Ferrari fan, even if they don't admit it, echoing Vettel's words from years ago. But Hamilton did not achieve his success at Mercedes alone. He had the support of some of the most brilliant minds in the sport, such as Bono, Andrew Shovlin, James Allison, and many others. These are the people who helped him win 7 titles, break records, and overcome challenges. They are also the people who could join him at Ferrari, taking with them a wealth of experience and knowledge. This puts Mercedes in a precarious position ahead of the 2025 season, as they could lose some of their most valuable assets to their rivals. The team has already expressed concern about the future of Bono, who has been Hamilton's race engineer since 2013. Bono's contract with Mercedes expires at the end of 2025, and he does not have the option to leave the team with a clause, unlike Hamilton. If he wants to join Ferrari, he would have to pay a hefty price. But maybe that is a price worth paying, considering the potential clash between Bono and the new driver who will replace Hamilton. Bono and Hamilton have a special chemistry, based on trust, respect, and friendship. They have been through thick and thin together, celebrating victories and overcoming difficulties. They have a unique understanding of each other, which is hard to replicate with someone else. Mercedes may have to accept that Bono and Hamilton are a package deal, and that trying to keep them apart would only damage the team's harmony and morale. Instead of holding a grudge against Hamilton for leaving, they should appreciate the amazing collaboration they had until now and wish him all the best for his new adventure at Ferrari. The situation is so serious that Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has admitted that he is worried about a potential staff exodus. Wolff said that the topic of Bono's replacement is something that will have to be discussed in the coming months, as he expects that both Hamilton and Bono would want to continue working together. He said, "I think this is a discussion that everybody needs to have in the months to come. I have spoken with Bono already, and when I told him about Hamilton's move, he said, 'Is it April 1st?' That's something we'll discuss in the future. If Bono decides to stay at Mercedes, then Hamilton will have to work with Carlos Sainz's race engineer, Riccardo Adami, at Ferrari. Adami is not a bad engineer, but he is not on the same level as Bono, and he has also been part of some of the mistakes that Ferrari has made in recent years. Hamilton is used to having a reliable and trustworthy engineer who can give him clear and accurate information and who can understand his needs and preferences. He would not be happy to have to deal with an engineer who is prone to errors or confusion, which could affect his performance and confidence. Hamilton's preference for Bono is just one of the reasons why Mercedes could lose more staff to Ferrari. Hamilton has also built strong relationships with many of the engineers and mechanics at the factories in Brackley and Brixworth, who have helped him achieve his remarkable feats. He could use his influence and charisma to persuade some of them to join him at Ferrari, where they would have the opportunity to work for the most prestigious and historic team in F1. This is a scenario that Mercedes fears, as they know that losing some of their best staff could have a huge impact on their competitiveness and morale. They have seen how the departure of a superstar driver can trigger a domino effect, as it happened when Sebastian Vettel left Red Bull for Ferrari in 2014. Red Bull struggled to cope with the loss of Vettel, and they also lost some of their key staff, such as aerodynamicist Dan Fallows, who followed Vettel to Ferrari. But Hamilton is not the only high-profile member of Mercedes who could leave for Ferrari. Another one is Riccardo Mosconi, who is currently the head of trackside performance at Mercedes. Mosconi is an Italian who was born in Imola, near Maranello, where Ferrari is based. He could be tempted to return to his homeland and join Hamilton and Bono at Ferrari, where he would have a crucial role in improving the car's performance. Mercedes is aware of the risk of losing some of their secrets and data to Ferrari, as they know that Hamilton and the others who could join him would have access to sensitive information about the team's plans and strategies. They would have to be very careful about what they share with Hamilton and the others, as they could use that information to their advantage at Ferrari. They would also have to convince the rest of the team that Hamilton's departure is not a sign of weakness or failure, but rather a challenge and an opportunity. Mercedes is facing a difficult and uncertain future, as they could lose more than just Hamilton to Ferrari. They could lose some of their best staff who have been instrumental in their success. They could lose some of their secrets and data, which could give Ferrari an edge. They could lose some of their harmony and morale, which could affect their performance. They have to find a way to cope with the loss of Hamilton and to prevent a staff exodus, or they could risk losing their dominance and glory. Wolff said that the team has nothing but the utmost respect for Hamilton, and they will treat him and George Russell with equal respect ahead of the new season. He said, "I think what I've always tried to do as a team principal, and all of us at Mercedes, is to be transparent and fair, and nothing's going to change in that respect in 2024. We owe it to our principles and our racing intent how we go on about, and we will respect that. And I will be sure that the driver will respect it." He also said that the team will have to evaluate the impact of Hamilton's departure on the technical information and the development of the car for 2025, when the regulations will stay pretty much the same. He said, "We will evaluate later in the season what it means in terms of technical information, but that's not something that bothers me at all. We have engineers that leave us and go to other teams, and the notice periods are sometimes as short as 6 months." Wolff also said that he has no doubt about Hamilton's integrity in terms of sharing information with Ferrari in 2024. He said, "I have no doubt about Lewis's integrity. He will definitely make sure that the 2024 season will be the one to remember for both sides." However, Hamilton's move to Ferrari means that he will stop at nothing to achieve his 8th championship in his career. And that means that he could help Ferrari in terms of sharing information in 2024, if that information turns out to be valuable and helpful for his car in 2025. Ferrari has also been poaching away staff from Red Bull and Mercedes, and it could all be traced back to one of the most highly appreciated high-profile members from the Silver Arrows, Jock Clear. Clear was the head of vehicle performance at Mercedes, but he left that role earlier in 2023 to join Ferrari for their 2025 campaign. According to reports, Clear considered that the W13 and the W14 projects were completely wrong due to the long wheelbase and floor. But since it was Mike Elliott who led the project, he didn't implement any of the changes that Clear proposed. Elliott also had his concerns about the performance of these two cars. That's why both of them are now reunited at the same team from 2025 onwards. It could very well be that Clear has talked with Hamilton about the car that Ferrari is building for 2025 and 2026 onwards. And more importantly, how different it is from what Hamilton has been driving at Mercedes. Hamilton will definitely use this knowledge to transfer it to the high-profile engineers in Brackley, which will spell more bad news for Mercedes. They will now have two very respected figures leaving their team due to a fault in their philosophy. This will put a massive burden on James Allison to iron out the W15. The statements regarding the development of the 2024 car are quite positive from both Allison and Wolff. But when you have the 7-time world champion leaving your team weeks before even testing it out in Bahrain, it doesn't bode well for your reputation. After all, Hamilton has stated many times that he knows what a car needs and what it doesn't. And this time, Mercedes seems to have replicated what a car does not need in order to be competitive for the third year in a row. What do you think about the potential high-profile staff exodus from Mercedes? Let us know in the comments below.